been wanting to pick the brains of a few people who were nominated to hear their stories so far of leadership in the industry and stuff like that. And yours is definitely a story that I think is worth telling. So that's where I wanted to start and kind of have you tell the story of Bravo. I've heard it before, but only like in bits and pieces. So I want to hear like the cohesive story of Bravo, and from when you worked for the past company to buying it to all that.
All right. I don't know how cohesive it is because,
That's fair.
but I'll put what I can together.
Okay.
So I worked for Bravo. The Bravo was opened by a previous owner. He founded it in 2010, and we had worked together at a previous restoration company. And so I helped him on the side. I had a newborn baby. I was working a full-time job, and I was going to school full-time and helping Bravo in the background, like doing payroll and scheduling, calling adjusters, just like little stuff like that. And then July of 2011, it just became a little too much for me to do it all. And we decided to bring me in full-time here at the office. And so from 2011 to 2016, I was basically like his right-hand person, but this naive little girl who had no idea, just knew she loved this industry and loved what she did. I gave my blood, sweat, and tears into this place. And so January 2016, a previous owner approached me, said he lost his drive, really didn't want to be a business owner anymore. And he said, hey, if you can find the money, you can have it. I think you would do a better job at running this company than me. So in my mind, I'm like, of course I can run it better. Like, obviously not knowing at all how to run a company. And so I took a second out of my home without really talking to my husband. My gut told me that I needed to do this. I had employees that weren't really happy here, but I had like talked them into staying and said, stay, Bravo's so great. And so I just had this like overwhelming commitment to not only to my coworkers, but also to myself, just like, oh, cool, being a woman business owner in a man's industry. Like, I was just so driven by that. And so 6 months later, I became the full owner, and there was a lot that I didn't know. One of the first things I did was hire a lawyer, hire a consultant, and both were like, why the heck did you buy this? You got in way over your head. Let's figure out how to sell it. Bad Nicole. And I just didn't take that as an answer. I'm a very prideful person and busted by it. And yeah, 2016 on an accrual base, we were losing $865,000. Now we're on a net percentage of like 23%. So it's been a really fun ride. But yeah, there's the Bravo story.
So what do you attribute to the success over the last 4 years, the amount of growing you've done and the turnaround? What do you attribute to that?
I would say like various things, between listening to my gut. A lot of times I had people like logically them telling me to do it one way, but my gut saying, okay, I don't think that's the way it goes. And choosing the gut way and seeing what happened if I had gone to the logical way, that I noticed that being one of the factors. And just, hiring people, like, I'm okay that I don't know anything. I was very open and transparent. And to those who knew me back then knew, like, I asked a lot of questions. I was constantly, every person I talked to, I soaked in what they had to say. I had no fear of putting it out on the table, like, hey, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. My cogs are at 70%, so I think like being vulnerable like that has helped a lot, because people are more, prone to help those that are vulnerable. And surrounding myself around with people who care about me, and like Violin's my consultant, and they've just been absolutely phenomenal. I think though I did all the work, I attribute a huge factor to them. And then just having friends in the industry, Kirk Krause down in the South, Mike Cosley, Juan Castro, just a lot of friends that have helped me, just the knowledge. So a lot of that. And then just never giving up. That's also a big attribute, because there's a lot of naysayers out there that did not believe I could do this. And so, yeah.
That's okay. So do you feel like you've run into any specific hurdles from being young or being a woman? in a pretty male dominated world?
Uh, yeah, actually, a lot of the hurdles I run into is just big contracted jobs or big getting onto with clients, like for example, like preferred TPAs. Like that's been a little bit of a struggle, just talking to them and being interviewed with them. I just recently we got a large hotel project, and I was being like scrutinized and interviewed, and they're like, "How do you have this much experience? You're only 32," and like and I got the whole, well, honey, let me tell you this kind of conversation. And I, I don't know, I got firm and showed my knowledge, and we won the project. And like now he's like a raving cheerleader for me. He like absolutely loves me, but it took a lot of like, you know, you have no idea what you're doing and you're young and you're a woman. Like that's just not possible. And to now like calling me for everything. So I'm constantly running into those hurdles. And a lot of times people don't even know they're pushing me into those hurdles. It's just an automatic like wall that they put up. And so, yeah.
So I know culture is a huge thing for you and your company. So what kind of culture have you built? How did you build it? I don't, I'm not there and seeing it. Just I guess from what I'm witnessing from afar, it does seem truly different from any restoration company or any company I've seen. It seems like healthy and vibrant and just on a different level. So I want to hear about your culture, I guess.
I guess it just comes to like energy. I don't know. We're all very like surrounding your people, like-minded people with different opinions. Like we're not all like military and think one way, but we're all have our common core values are a huge factor. You know, honesty, hardworking, trust, and integrity. And yeah, those sound like everybody's core values, but at the end of the day, that is truly what it is. Our staff is a family. Like we bless our butts. We work really hard. We have fun. Like I'm really big about celebrating the little wins. Like we have, birthday celebrations, anniversary. We just, I don't know, lots of fun that we have here. And I think that helps. I'm a mom and I'm, a woman and I'm young, and I put all of those things, like I love my staff. And so when I love them hard. But when they disappoint me or they don't do what I'm asking, I kind of like this is not how I expect things to be done. How I would talk to my kids, like I don't belittle my kids and I don't belittle my employees. And so I don't know. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's just, and then hiring those right people that fit in our culture and that vibe. Like I'm not the only one who does the interviewing, and our entire staff, like we have multiple people involved in that hiring. And so one of the biggest things, would this person fit in our vibe? Would this person fit in our culture? And every person that has not fit into this mold that we have of our culture, they literally exit themselves. I don't have to fire anybody. I don't write people up. We don't have write-ups. Like there's no need for that because usually people find themselves out the door on their own. So it's a lot of factors.
Okay. So where do you see your company going from here? Where do you hope to be in 5 years and 10 years? What does that look like for you?
The millennial in me is really hard with planning and like foreseeing the future. I'm personally transitioning through survival mode to growing mode now, because the last couple of years I've just had to survive and fix and clean up, and now we have a solid company that kicks butt. So I really want to now focus on just really honing in our 2 counties. Like I'm a big believer. I look at life as like a video game, and I like to perfect the level I'm on so that the next level I go on, I'm super strong because I did so well in this level that I've already like done it so many times that I will have a more of an advantage to the next level. Whereas not trying to like rush my way through the game. Like people will like barely make it to that level, and then they go on the next level, and then it takes them forever because they didn't give it that time and commitment on the previous level. So that's how I view life. And so I just really want to perfect this level. I want to perfect the 2 counties we're in right now. And once that's perfect, and not like nothing's perfect, but once I feel comfortable, like, hey, we have systems down, processes, clients are happy, we're word of mouth, Google, like, in which we're getting there right now. And then I want to have a satellite office and then grow and perfect that next thing. And I'll never franchise out. I wouldn't mind doing multiple satellite offices, but yeah, just as long as it has to make sure the culture and the vibe just goes along with it.
Okay. All right. that
Yeah.
your video game thing. I'm like, well, that must be why she's so good at Peloton rides and you rank so high, because you're like, I'm going to beat these people and I'm going to be high on the rankings. Yeah.
It helps. I'm very competitive. And that's another thing in our culture is that we're all very competitive and we have fun doing it. And I just like winning. Weird things. Not like, I'm not rude about it, I don't think.
There's nothing wrong with liking to win. That's how you become a good business owner, liking to win. So yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nicole, you won the ladder award.
What? No, I did not.
You did. There were dozens of nominations, and you were nominated by a few people that you've mentioned, and some really impressive words were said about you. So yes, you did.
Oh my God. That is so awesome.
Yes.
That is
So
exciting.
congratulations. You are very deserving.